What up, gamers? Spencer here, and welcome back to Frontline 2 Exilium. So guys, this is pretty much going to be my last video for this Let's Play, either it being forever, or maybe I'll come back to it when it comes to the past events, because yeah, with this game, I feel like with every update, I don't feel like I need to really, I guess be on point every time, because, you know, I think especially with the way the gameplay is like, well, for me, it's just been like auto battle for a few seconds and back to the really long cutscenes, which, for me, is not really what I wanted from this Let's Play. But yeah, because it's like this, I think I just rather, if I were to ever come back to this game, I'd just rather maybe just slow things down with the story, because, you know, I just feel like I'd rather not be narrating the whole time with every update. Rather, do more gameplay type stuff with other games and videos. But yeah, it doesn't mean that I'll be, not playing this game or that I dislike this game. It's really just only the Let's Play, I guess, story playing part. Everything else I still like. I even watched that new Balin Island emergency shelter broadcast that they had, episode 10, where they showed the new character off with Lewis. And yeah, that looks pretty good. But yeah, when it comes to like the story events with every update, I think I'd rather just do them in the past events. But yeah, that means it might take a while until I come back to this game. But yeah, I think after some more thinking, I think that's what I'm just really leaning towards to, is just come back to this game when they're available in the past events, and that might take a while. I think the closest one that I can come back to is the Dush of Naya event with her story, because I missed that. But other than that, I think after this update with the Lewis update, who knows how long that will be until that will be available in the past events. But yeah, that's pretty much my plan right now. So yeah, still love the game, but I'm not the biggest fan of like the way I play through the event stories. Like especially when you know, especially when these event stories, like, they're pretty much like the main story now. They're not like the main story that is always available from like beginning of the game. But yeah, I feel like I don't want to like always be on point when it comes to these event stories. Because yeah, just rather use my time elsewhere and not like narrating the whole time. Anyways, yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and continue with the story and try to finish everything out in this video here. And yeah, by the way, happy New Year. We're now in 2026, and already I'm gonna, put this game down for a bit, and then eventually come back. Anyways, 2 hours later, Kalina, now stationed at the Odessa Bay Bridge, watches transport after transport cross to safety, but she still can't fully relax. The isolation barriers on the bridge have been lowered. To protect evacuees, the turrets on Odessa's fixed quarantine wall have limited their firing arcs, but that also leaves the Odessa Bay Bridge and its approaches from ODE-07 exposed as an entry point for illegal automatons. From his position in the town, Fedya has sent extra troops to hold the ramp and repel the oncoming mechanical forces. But across Odessa, including ODE-07, battles rages everywhere. Manpower is scarce and the situation remains dire. Escort Team 2 sent 3 personnel and 5 small droids to escort the 2 transports across the bridge. Everyone else, hold position and wait for the next convoy. Intercept any illegal automatons breaching the front lines. Do not let them reach the on-ramp leading to the bridge. Kalina checks her communicator. 1 hour remains until the scheduled completion of the evacuation. I wonder how they're doing at the power plants. Oh, and that's it. Okay. Yeah, I already got the rewards here because I had to skip in. Try to get back to the main menu. Alright, here we go. You got a challenge here. Yeah, man, I'm really gonna miss this game, because with this game, I guess I'll get it when we go into battle. Current seal progress at 28%. Cooling system control has been regained, running at maximum output. We can hold a bit longer. To fully reclaim control, seal progress must exceed 85%. Current progress is slow. What's the status on the isolation gate security decryption in the collapsed particle storage area? It's underway. 2 authorization locks remaining. Overall progress at 57%. All electronic warfare units. The remaining critical nodes are being computed. Syncing updates soon. Prioritize the current node. The technicians' voices echo across level 2. Looks like the reinforcements really did help speed the cracking process. Rabella, clearly redundant data. Rabella? Rabella, who was supposed to be waiting nearby for instructions, is nowhere to be seen. At the same time, the sound of combat erupts ahead. I know you're in a hurry, but this is exactly when you need to stay calm. Eva sighs helplessly, then also rushes into the fray. Current security node decrypted. Have we located the next one? The computing process is acting up. Another squad has already gone to handle it. We'll sync our progress with you soon. Just a moment longer. Please make it quick. Leva, are all the personnel for the current security system decryption teams in position? Let me check. As of now, about 65% of the reinforcements originally assigned to the power plant have arrived, but some of them had to divert to block the back doors Gerard left behind and regain system control. We'll need a little over an hour before our pipeline reaches full capacity. That's too slow. Didn't the SSA say the reinforcements had already departed? To keep the environment stable, Level 2 has switched to local network access. The electronic warfare units need to get within a specific range to participate in operations. The fighting outside is intense, and traffic is heavily restricted, so naturally, they're delayed. Odessa has been turning a blind eye to their problems for years. That kind of lax management let Gerard hide far too many private troops. Callan is under enormous pressure too. Rabella taps into the frontline comms from the cross-sea bridge through Level 2. Through the crackling interference, Kalina's voice comes through, faint but resolute. Closer to the mic are deafening bursts of gunfire. Bearing south 35° west, distance 189 meters. Block those 3 illegal droids. Counselor, look out! An explosion drowns out the rest of the transmission. I'm fine. Oh, my bad. I'm fine. Destroy those droids quickly. The next transporter almost here. David cuts the channel, and silence returns to Level 2. What are you doing? Worrying about her won't help her. The technicians have already sent over the next node. Let's pick up the pace. Right, got it. Rabella takes out the final system defense unit with a clean shot. As the defense unit disintegrates, decryption on the current node is completed. Nice work. Where's the next node, Leva? Waiting for the technicians to confirm. Reinforcements are arriving, speeding up the process. And since you have increased computational output, or our decryption made us up by 20%. Wait, Rabella, where are you going? Can't wait any longer. Rabella swiftly scans the map, locks onto the uncracked node, and leaps into it. Leva follows, the two engaging a new set of defense units. All system unit defense units neutralize. Current node decryption. Authorization locked release. Requesting reinforcements to proceed with the follow-up procedures. Requesting next node coordinates. Right, 1 second. Let me see where the next node is. Hey, you, can you come help me out? With the original sequence of operation thrown into disarray, the technician's voice grows frantic. Rabella becomes even more agitated. We have to move faster. We have 5 nodes left. Once we decrypt them, the final lock will open. The isolation gates will disengage, and then... Rabella starts forward but is yanked back by Leva. Where do you think you're going? The next node hasn't even been confirmed yet. We don't have time to wait around. There are only 5 left. The sequence barely matters anymore. The gate opens once we're done. Rabella tries to pull free, but Leva tightens her grip. Wait for the technicians. Running off now will just ruin their plan. Don't bungle it up with your impatience. How can I not be impatient? You know how bad things are on Callan's end. We can't delay any longer. We have to help her. Leva, I just ran the calculation. The cooling system is running at maximum output, and the overload window for the engines have been extended. If we can just finish decrypting the last lock even 30 minutes early, we can handle the rest to the reinforcements. Then we can make our way to Odessa Bay Bridge. Calm down. You don't fully understand the security system. Even the smallest interference could trigger catastrophic results. My neurocloud was damaged back in Gerard's server room. I mostly recovered, but it still isn't perfectly stable. And besides, all of us are working on the locks are at our computational limits. If anything goes wrong, we won't be able to fix it in time. We've already cracked it 4 locks. That's 20 nodes in total. I have a pretty good grasp on the structure now. The 5th won't be a problem. And I wasn't wrong before, was I? We succeeded with the last node and lifted the fourth lock. It worked out well once, but that doesn't mean every attempt will succeed. We can't hedge everything on one lucky guess. Abella, you're a doll. Do I need to spell it out for you? But we can't just stand here and wait for the bridge to fall, for Callan and all those civilians to be... Next node sinking in 8 minutes, 20 seconds. The technician's report cuts into their argument. Rebella keeps staring at Leva, her eyes burning with defiance. You heard that, Leva. 8 whole minutes. There's only one lock left. Once it's gone, we can go help Callan. No, this delay is far longer than the previous ones, so something's off. If the decryption fails, the collapsed particles will spread unchecked, and Callan, the soldiers, the refugees, and all the innocent people of Odessa will die. Callan would never want you acting so recklessly. Protecting Odessa, protecting the world that's finally crawled out of war. That's what she's fighting for. But she also hopes that someday she won't have to give us orders anymore. She hopes that we can just chat and go shopping together. I don't want that day to only come for her to be gone. Leva, the time we're spending on decrypting the system is bought with people's lives. I don't know how to say this. Maybe to dolls, peace is just a definition. Some statistics. But to those living through war, peace is the hope to survive. The wish that their families and friends would stay safe. It's because of those so-called selfish wishes that humans can respond to one another, gather together, form armies, and fight. That's what war really means for them. To weigh those lives rationally, coldly, I can't do that. If the containment tanks explode and the collapsed particles spread, everything's lost. But right now, they are everything. You're wavering too, aren't you, Leva? Otherwise, why can't you even listen to the Frontline channel? If true peace ever comes, but the commander, Callan, and 404 are already gone, would that peace still mean anything to you? Leva falters. The missing data in her neural cloud feels like a void, heavy and suffocating. The shouts she's been trying to block out in the comms channel, and Callan's voice among them, are clashing with her sense of logic, which she is so proud of. Leva. The cold logic embedded deep within Leva's neural cloud compels her to refuse, but her vocal unit fails her. She can't bring herself to speak. Just then, a bright, cheerful voice cuts through the tension. Rebella, Leva, I'm finally here. I couldn't reach you for ages. I patched it in as soon as I got into local range. Sopo, you're already in ODE-07? Yeah, the UAV was super fast. I even shot down a few flyers on the way. I'm no good at electronic warfare though. Callan told me to help the security forces with Lena at the front. Give me 10 minutes or so and I'll be at the power plant. Wait, Sopo. What's wrong? Contact Callan directly. Join the battle at the bridge on ramp. If she tells you to come here instead, tell her Leva, Lena, and Rebella, and the reinforcements sent by the Oblast government can handle it. Your excess combat strength here. Oh, got it. The ramp's closer anyway. Sopo, before we get there, please help Callan and the evacuees safe. That goes without saying. I'll be waiting for you at the bridge. Sopo cuts the link to level 2. Eva turns to Rebella. Sopo's voice has helped her regain her usual composure. You're right, Rebella. I'm worried about Callan too, and it's shaken me. But I still believe that dolls exist, in part, to make up for human flaws. I can't let my fear for Callan put the power plant at even greater risk. You were modified by Persica. You're her 3rd-gen doll prototype. Maybe you are different from us. We might never reach the same conclusion through different logic circuits. But I know this. None of us wants to see more death. The war that has devoured so many lives still burns clearly in our memories. Now, Callan and the evacuees have Sopo protecting them. She's better suited to handle that front than we are. So I'm asking you to adjust your logic circuit for now. Work with me. Follow orders. Keep helping the technicians unlock the final seal. Once the gate is open, or once we fully regain control of the power plant, we'll go to help Callan, alright? Together to help Callan, alright? Beep beep beep. The technicians relay the data for the next node to be breached. Eva enlarges the projection before them. According to the coordinates, the node lies just a short distance ahead. Data continues to flow steadily within level 2. Robella slowly nods. Alright. Okay. But yeah, dude, like... Oh, we got more dialogue probably here. I think that was it. No, yeah, dude, it is kind of weird of me, like, you know, ending the whole Let's Play because when I first saw this game, I thought I would be playing it for a long while, just because when I saw the gameplay, it was pretty much like the thumbnail of my first video, like the title of it, which is, it's XCOM, but with waifus. And I love that a lot. You know, a gacha game, but that plays like XCOM in a way. But yeah, it's just that gameplay is really not there that much. I wish we get to experience more of that, but this is pretty much what I experienced for the most part. I know I can play in the heroic mode, but I feel like that one is actually like really hard, where I can't really do it like automatically, like with the auto battle or manually, just because it's too hard for me. Like I found it out when I tried doing it during that Florence event. But yeah, I'm gonna have to end it here, man, like with the Let's Play, at least for now. I am leaning towards more of like coming back when it comes to the past events, but even so, the uploads won't be as like a lot compared to like as I did for the first year. I do want to, you know, take my time with it. So yeah, it might be a while until we get to the, you know, the past event stuff. For the Dish of Naya events, that's what I want to do next. If I assume they'll be available first. There we go. Oh, and there's more. I'll confirm. Next one is a cutscene. Okay, yeah, we're making our way there. 3 more to go. Alright. The battle rages on, with Sopo's support. The threat posed by the mechanical units that have broken through the defenses near the on-ramp is now significantly reduced. Operation Zeister, a campaign instigated to suppress an insurgency caused by the Gerard group, finally approaches its end. At this moment, several troop carriers, escorted by a military jeep, reach the sea bridge. A member of the refugee escort unit rushes to Kalina at the mid-bridge supply point. Counselor, aside from the missing personnel, the final group of the evacuees have safely arrived on the ramp. Good work. Quickly count heads and assign escorts. Provide supplies for the critically wounded. Make sure this group of refugees crosses the Odessa Bay Bridge safely. Yes, ma'am. Kalina exhales slightly in relief and looks up towards Sopo, standing not far away. Sopo has planted herself in the middle of the road, constantly on guard against any mechanical unit that might break through the barricade or blockade. Around 50 meters ahead of her lie the wreckages of over a dozen destroyed illegal automatons. They seem to have slammed into an invisible wall and could no longer advance a single inch toward the Odessa Bay Bridge. Sopo, watch for aerial units. Hang in there for just a little longer. No problems. These joints were barely enough for warming up, so don't worry. The troop carriers roll past Sopo and halt at the temporary supply point for a quick resupply. The accompanying military jeep stops beside Kalina. Major Fedya steps out, his usually steady gait replaced with a bit of limp. His left arm and leg are clearly injured. The bandages wrapped around them are soaked with blood and dirt. Similar traces of battle also marked his once fair face. Refusing the help of his subordinates, he walks up to Kalina and salutes solemnly. Counselor Kalina. Major Fedya, I'm relieved to see you've returned safely. Thank you, ma'am. I just received word that the electronic warfare units have successfully entered the area containing the new energy generators. The generators have been shut down. Soon, the technicians will regain full system control of the power plant. The crisis at the Selene power plant is effectively contained. That's wonderful news. Thank you, and your subordinates for your support of the Odessa Oblast during this operation. You're too kind. A collapsed particle leak is something none of us wishes to see. Counselor Kalina, you've probably heard through the comms earlier. Though the battle at ODE-07 isn't over yet, the situation is finally stabilizing. Reinforcements from Odessa have arrived and joined several urban combat zones. The original forces are being rotated to the rear for the rest. Please come with us back to Odessa. A new combat unit will take over the sector. My duty is to ensure every evacuees reach safety. ODE-07 still has missing personnel. Until their whereabouts are confirmed, my unit's mission is not complete. Besides, the handover will take time, and I know the situation in this area better. Until the handover is complete, I'll remain here with the part of the forces to continue searching for the missing and intercept any illegal automatons that slip through the front. But seeing that Fedya is about to argue, Kalina smiles faintly. Don't worry, Major. My subordinates can protect me. Besides, Leva and the others must already be on their way. I want to wait for them. Beep beep beep. Kalina's communicator rings. I just picked up their signal. Based on their transmitted coordinates, they'll be here very soon. It looks like their last transport convoy's resupply is almost done. Major, you better leave with them. Your wounds should be seen to soon. Kalina glances at the blood seeping slowly through his bandages. I understand. Counselor Kalina, allow me to thank you again for NLMFA's and your support during this period. I'm sorry for before. Kalina shakes her head kindly, cutting him off. Everything we've done is for Odessa's peace. You, Major, and us alike. Understood. Please take care. The last convoy of evacuees begins to move again. 10 minutes later. Kalina watches the convoy's position on the map and gradually relaxes. The vehicles are nearing the middle of the bridge. Reports from the Frontline communication channels also bring good news. The missing personnel are being located one by one. That's wonderful. Alarm! Suddenly, a shout and burst of static erupts from the comms, followed by multiple deafening explosions across several channels. Whoa. Look at that effect. Before Kalina's eyes, a military helicopter hovering about a kilometer from the on-ramp bursts into flames. What's happening? The fire devours the aircraft in seconds. The bright fireball, trailed by black smoke, crashes to the ground like a low-falling meteor of destruction. At the same time, thick black smoke rises from multiple explosions across ODE-07. The frontline comm channel descends instantly into chaos. This is Combat Scene 3. We're under attack. Illegal automatons are grouping up. Same here. And there's something else. Some kind of special unit. Oh, is this it? Is this the one that was with Archer? And also Rurik? But yeah, I'm gonna guess, like based on the Intertwined Assault event, it's gonna be a evil version of Groza since they talked about it there. We'll see. Like the one that was like piloting the plane on with Archer and Rurik. Whoa! With the screech of static and screams, multiple explosions rock ODE-07 again. The newly arrived forces are caught completely off guard. Gunfire, once sporadic, now reignites from all directions. The battle that had seemed to come suddenly flares up with renewed fury. Ahead of Kalina, not far from the on-ramp, pillars of fire reveal the silhouettes of more illegal automatons. Kalina, things are going south. Fall back! Reacting instantly, Sopo fires rapidly, taking down 2 illegal automatons that have slipped through the line. All evacuation units, prepare for combat. Communications officer, tell the bridge convoy to accelerate. Sopo, check the on-ramp and find out what's going on. Got it. Kalina, stay safe. Find cover and don't come out, no matter what. Without looking back, Sopo dashes toward the on-ramp. The previously relaxed evacuation forces regroup quickly under Kalina's orders and fortify their positions. Sopo, sit rep. There are a ton of illegal droids pouring out of nowhere, all heading for the bridge. I don't even know where they came from. And there's a super strong one mixed in, way tougher than anything we fought before. Hang on, this one. The transmission cuts off. Sopo's voice vanishes. The channel falls silent. Counselor Kalina, please board the vehicle and head for Odessa immediately. We'll handle it from here. Kalina doesn't answer. Her gaze locks into the gunfire flashing in the distant darkness. Counselor, there's no time. You're not a combat specialist. Staying here is far too dangerous. Kalina. The comms reconnect. Sopo's voice returns. Kalina, sorry, the signal cut out. Oh, that's not the point. I think the super strong unit is commanding the illegal automatons. Their coordination is way sharper under her lead. The relief forces haven't arrived yet, and we're barely holding out. And this doll, it looks like Groza. Yep, and there we go, I knew it. But I do want to see like the actual art. We kind of saw it earlier where I think that's the one that had like extra hands, right? What did you say? Groza? But Groza is aboard the Elmo. I don't get it either. I'm still a few hundred meters from the firefight, but by the firelight, I swear, She looks identical to Groza. Well, not completely identical, but definitely stronger. I don't know what she's loaded with, but she just tore through one of the SSA's heavy mechs like it's nothing. What did you say? A heavy mech? Sopa's words leave Kalina stunned. About a year ago, on a visit to Odessa Oblast for another assignment, she first made contact with the former chief. During that time, under the escort of Oblast government officials, she I was about to say tortured. She toured the soon-to-be delayed deployed automatons of Odessa, including the heavy combat mix, and was signed to the Special Security Administration. Even years spent working alongside intricately built T-dolls, she deeply admired Odessa's engineering standards. Kalina cannot imagine what kind of combat unit could destroy these formidable mechs so effortlessly. But the inferno is ahead, and the voices crackling through the comms tell her that Sopo isn't exaggerating. Panic, despair, and primal fear wash over her. She takes 2 deep breaths, the salty ting of sea air, and the acrid scent of smoke mingle, grounding her once more in cold clarity. Then, she makes her decision. Sopo, stay where you are and assist on the front line. Buy as much time as you can. Leave that to me. I'll do that even if you didn't ask. I don't care if she's Groza or whatever. It's a new toy that I haven't taken apart yet. It's perfect. Kalina checks the position of the evacuation convoy on the map once more. She picks up her communicator. Major Fedia, this is Kalina. ODE-07. The situation has changed, I am aware. I'm already driving back. Please head across the Odessa Bay Bridge immediately and leave ODE-07. I'll take over command of the evacuation escort. We will buy you time in a convoy the time you need. No, Major. Please turn around at once and head for Odessa. That's out of the question. Protecting the people of Odessa and the Odessa Oblast is the work of the Special Security Administration. My subordinates and I won't desert our posts. No, I'm not asking you to flee. A high lethality tactical doll has appeared among the enemy. The battle is deadlocked. Our current defensive line will not be able to intercept every hostile unit. The fact that this unit appears at this exact moment makes their goal quite obvious. The battle is tilting in our favor, so they want to unleash one last wave of chaos. Their target is the evacuation convoy. You and your subordinates must stay within the transports and protect the evacuees on board. In addition to that, there is one more matter. Please contact Mr. Zimmerman immediately. I need you, an SSA major, and an Oblast Parliament member to report something directly to the Odessa Oblast government. Given the consequences this may trigger, I cannot handle it with my authority alone. But as a senior counselor of the Non-Military Forces Administration, I must remain here. I don't quite understand what you mean. Kalina moves behind cover, looks toward the far end of the Odessa Bay Bridge, and speaks softly. This is too risky. One misstep and you... I know, but Major, surely you also understand this is the method most likely to ensure the success of our mission. Please convey my intent to Mr. Zimmerman. Tell him to fulfill my request by any means available. Everything is for the peace of the Odessa Oblast and for everyone's safety. A moment later, Fedia's voice returns. Miss Kalina, once again, thank you, and thank the Non-Military Forces Administration for everything you've done for the Odessa Oblast. I will do everything I can. Thank you. Please stay safe on the way. The transmission ends. Kalina checks the coordinates previously sent by Aliva and the others. Then she steps out of cover and picks up the nearby loudspeaker. All evacuation escort units, hold the bridge entrance. No one retreats without orders. Yes, ma'am. The rain continues to pour. Explosions thunder along the front line, yet the soldiers' replies ring clearer than ever. Things are getting a bit intense, man. This must be the battle? Is that the... I think that's her, man. I think her hair is darker here. It looks like there'll be a battle with her. Yeah, this is exciting. We get to see the evil Groza. In just 3 minutes, the illegal forces led by Groza compress the distance between the front line and the rear dramatically. Rear front line, fall back 100 meters, build cover faster. Support the front line, fortify the line. Kalina issues commands methodically, checking the convoy's location on her terminal from time to time. On the map interface are 2 markers, one showing the firefight near the on-ramp, one showing the convoy. The distance between the 2 points continues to widen. Hurry, just a little faster. Suddenly, an alarm sounds on the frontline channel. Dang, she broke through. Real line, heads up. A high lethality doll is leading 3 automatons toward you at high speed. Copy. Sopo, pull back and mount a defense immediately. Real line, prepare for combat. On my way. A few short minutes later, Kalina spots a fast-moving black silhouette. 3 accompanying aerial automatons fire non-stop toward the real line. Sopo dodges wildly while returning fire. Run. Keep running. Oh. Breaking through Odessa Bay Bridge final defense is in approximately 10 minutes. I'm catching up to you. Once I get my hands on you, I'm gonna take those legs apart piece by piece by piece, leaving not a single screw. Sopo's exhilarated voice comes through. Kalina and her rear defenders brace themselves. All evacuation units, intercept the high lethality doll at all costs. And with that, the doll emerges firing range. The defenders engage her in combat. Under the shadowy doll's overwhelming pressure, the real line is forced back again and again. More illegal automatons break through the frontline barriers. Although they are intercepted eventually, the defenders pay dearly for it. Kalina drags a wounded, fading soldier back behind cover. Counselor, Kalina! Don't worry about me, I'm fine. But as soon as she gets behind cover, she realizes he's already gone. Sopo crashes hard against the cover in front of Kalina. She has suffered multiple gunshots and massive frame damage, with mechanical fluids pouring out of her wounds. Huh, not bad. Keep coming. Sopo glares at the approaching doll. She uses the cover as leverage and forces herself upright. Ugh. Dang. Jeez, dude. The sounds. Is this the first time we've seen like a doll go down, like a main character doll? At least in a while. Like it's the first. Like I know there's been like Rosa. Like Rosa got destroyed that one time, right? I feel like I've rarely seen them like go out. But yeah, I feel like she's pretty much done here. With a flash of sparks, Sopo's leg joint collapses. She slams to the ground again. The last defender on the rear line falls. However, the frontline battle hasn't ceased. Illegal armed units are still pressing to break through. Dang it. Keep coming. Sopo keeps firing, but her arm is hit and her weapon falls away. Oh, there she is. Dang. She looks really cool. The shadowy doll slips out of the darkness. There she is. Stop struggling. I mean, yeah, she does look really cool. This, evil Groza. I'm perfectly fine, don't you worry. As Sopo continues to goad the enemy, she taps rhythmically on the cover with her finger to send Kalina a coded message. I'll stall her. Run. Kalina understands what her intent, but shakes her head. I won't abandon you. Kalina picks up a rifle, steps out from behind cover, and standing firmly before Sopo. Groza. The doll before her has Groza's face, but her eyes are utterly empty. The black-clad doll does not answer. She raises her weapon. Kalina! Bang. The bullet grazes the button tied behind Kalina's head. The sound of death does not make her flinch. Her hair spills loose, whipping the wind and rain, just like back in Griffin. You are not Groza. Oh, okay, that one looks a bit more like an injury. That red border there. You know, like when you get hits in Call of Duty? This time the bullet grazes Kalina's arms, blood spills down, soaking her old wounds. Move. Who are you? The black-clad doll gives no reply. Seeing Kalina's face seems to make her hesitate slightly. Her pace slows, but she still advances with cold, oppressive intent. The doll darts aside lightly. Bullet tears into the ground she's just stepped over. My shooting has improved over these last few years. I could even give the commander a run for his money. Is she about to faint? Why did she say it like that? Huh? More gunfire. Kalina fires continuously, blocking the doll's advance. As her magazine empties, she tries to reload while the doll ducks behind cover, but the doll suddenly accelerates, closing the distance in a blink and kicking her rifle away. Kalina falls to the ground. Even if it's just a result from target practice. The black-clad doll pays her no more attention and moves past the cover. Kalina crawls toward the fallen rifle. I won't let you catch up to the convoy, unless you become one of us. Lena drops from above. The black-clad doll blocks the attack instinctively. Lena's boots slam heavily against her arm. Ugh. Having failed to make out the enemy in one strike, Lena flips back, landing steadily a few meters away. Leva and Lorabella jump down from the UAV at the same time. Sorry we're late, Callan. You're not late. You're right on time. The black-clad doll rushes to Lena immediately, and Lena meets her head-on. There we go to battle. Oh, no battle yet. Picking on Kalina and Sopo? I don't care if you're an old friend. That's a no-no. Leva, get Callan to safety first. This one's mine. Okay, give me a few minutes. Leva picks Callan up and sprints away. We'll handle it from here, Callan. Pull me behind a nearby cover. That Groza is incredibly strong. Hurry and go support Lena and Robella. Sopo. On the other side, Robella anxiously scans her surroundings, spots Sopo collapse beside a piece of cover, and runs over. Sopo can just about peel her limp hand off the ground and flashes a V sign. I'm fine. Totally okay. Seeing the severely damaged Sopo and the badly injured Kalina, Robella bites her lip and tightens her grip on her gun. I don't care whether you're Groza or whatever. You're not getting out of here today. Meanwhile, following Kalina's orders, Leva hides behind a piece of nearby cover. You're hurt. Stay hidden here. Don't run around anymore. Leva, I'm fine. Now listen. Leave the illegal automatons to the other combat personnel. You prioritize that doll. Okay, be careful yourself. Leva returns to the battlefield. Kalina turns on her terminal. On the screen is the structural diagram of the Odessa Bay Bridge that Major Fenya has sent her. Kalina performs a quick set of operations, placing the bridge diagram beside their map interface, and synchronizing the real-time combat positions of the dolls onto the structural diagram. Those same positions are synced to Fenya's terminal. The message, not yet at a safe distance, blinks in red at the top of the screen. Is this her plan? Is she about to like blow up the bridge? Wow, look at this view. What the heck? That's pretty cool. Is that her? Oh man, she looks really cool, man. Yeah, I wish she was playable, but I don't think she'll be. If anything, she'll be a skin for Groza. Oh, snap. Dang, that is so cool. But yeah, you'll go down in one shot, though. Alright, here we go. Done? Or are you just like alive forever? Until those 3 turns that we hold off the attack. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. The gunfire continues. Lena ducks behind cover to reload. Leva and Rebella lay down suppressive fire. Leva, why is this thing so strong? Who knows? But at least we can be certain this is not the kind of combat power that the real Groza could have. Sopo plus the 3 of us attacking together, and all we've done is disable some of her long-range modules. At least that keeps Callan safer. Ever since they first engaged Groza, Kalina has been methodically directing the dolls, constantly adjusting their positions, all while relocating herself to the immobilized Sopo's side. Under her orders, the 3 dolls gradually form an encirclement around Groza. After that, Kalina gives no further tactical commands, only ordering them to hold the line and pin Groza down. Leva roughly estimates the size of their combat area and is starting to have an inkling about what Kalina is planning. She glances toward Kalina, who is hiding behind a piece of cover further back. Is Callan okay? Did she pass out? If you don't hurry up and finish reloading that magazine, that Miss Groza in black is going to blow me to pieces, you know? Sorry, my bad. Lena pops back out from cover and resumes suppressive fire on the black-clad doll. Leva uses the chance to shift positions with Lena, taking a spot closer to Kalina. The doll's attack is fierce, but the enemy does not falter, exploiting every chance to break their formation. To dodge the black-clad doll's fire, Robella rolls behind cover. Just as she's about to retaliate, she sees a small grenade tossed straight toward her. Crap! Jump back down! Boom. Everyone pulls out the blast radius just in time. Robella, you okay? I'm fine. Attention all units. At last, Kalina's voice returns to the comms channel. In 1 minute, reach the edge of the bridge closest to you. Huh? The edge? Looks like we can finally settle this. Settle? Yup, Kellen, Soko. I'll come get you in a moment, so hold tight, okay? Huh? There's no keeping anything from you, is there? Eva, lock down the enemy unit. Don't let her escape the encirclement. You only get one chance. You must not fail. What? Lena does not even get to finish her question before a massive noise erupts in the sky behind them. You. Lena, Robella, cover me. Don't let her get away. The dolls spring instantly into action. Leva rushes to Kalina and Sopo's position and lifts them both from her in her arms. Realizing something is wrong, the black-clad doll immediately turns and sprints toward the gap in the encirclement. Don't even think about it. Bullets strike her before she can defend. Her lower leg is damaged and she falls. Everyone, jump! Eva's voice disappeared beneath the roar of falling shells. The dolls leap off the edge of the bridge. Defensive mode activated. Maximum output. A few seconds later, dense bombardment rains down on the Odessa Bay Bridge. Explosions and shockwaves swallow everything. The bridge's cables shake violently under the bombardment and a storm. One outer cable and one inner cable on the pylon snap. The cross ties are damaged. The deck rocks hard. Fortunately, the bridge does not collapse. Only cracks form along the edge, scattering debris into the sea. A little over 10 minutes later, the thick smoke is thinned by rain and waves. Uneven footsteps echo through the mist. The light of the force field flickers and fades. Rosa's silhouette emerges from the haze. The black-clad doll staggers toward the edge of the bridge and looks down at the churning water. The comms device out of her crackles. She adjusts its angle, trying to hear more clearly. Automaton losses exceed 78%. Widespread structural damage has occurred at the across the Odessa Oblast. Combat objective completed. On the other end, a voice seems to have asked a question. No. NOMFA combat units lost. The voice asks another question. Current frame damage at approximately 40%. Long-range modules offline. Command signal transmitter at the risk of shortening. Query. Should pursuit continue? A command comes to the comms device. Rosa complies. The storm continues. The black-clad doll vanishes into an even darker night. And that's it. Okay. Wait, that was really cool to see. Now I'm just really curious about how she'll make a return. I want to see if, like, she'll meet the, our Groza. The Odessa Bay Bridge defense operation is a success. The unrest caused by the Gerard group has been fully contained, and the Operation Zeister is completely complete. Effectively complete. The Oblast government will deploy rescue forces throughout the region to assist with residents' evacuation and urban reconstruction. Residents in emergency situations should immediately contact the rescue channels listed as follows. With the battle over, Robella escorts Sopo to 16 Lab for emergency repair. Kalina, who fell into the water, suffers no major injuries thanks to the doll's protection. After a basic check and some bandaging, Leva and Lena escort her back to the hotel. Kalina washes the blood from her hair and face, then steps out of the bathroom. Leva switches off the TV. You really didn't have to escort me back. You should have just gone with Sopo and Robella for maintenance. Before the handover team led by the director arrives in Odessa, you still need someone by your side. Alright, come here. Leva stands in front of the dressing table and waves Kalina over. I can do this myself. I'm a great hero who blew up the bridge, protected the evacuation convoy, and turned the tide of ODE-07. The esteemed Counselor Kalina looks down on my services now. Faced with Leva's teasing, Kalina shakes her head with a weary smile and sits down. Leva picks up a hairbrush and glides its bristles softly along Kalina's long hair. Whoa. Are you angry? How would I dare? Ask Lena if you don't believe me. Huh? The angriest one was definitely Robella. The memory of how a dripping wet rubella pounced at us the moment we got to shore still makes me chuckle. Are you all trying to die? Lena does an exaggerated expression of Rubella's roar. I'm surprised you found it funny, Leva. Rubella grabbed you by the collar and yanked you right up. If I hadn't stopped her, she definitely would have thrown you straight back into the sea. She totally flipped out. Lena shivers at the memory. But honestly, Rubella took the words right out of my mouth. Leva, Kalina, next time you plan to do something that drastic, at least give us a heads up. In fact, you two are not allowed to be part of any plans that involve gambling with your lives. Kellen, you're human, and Leva, your neurocloud is... My neurocloud? You're still worried about the damage I took before? I already told you I'm fine. The only one you need to worry about is Kellen. Lena stiffens again. She glances furtively at Kalina, then abruptly changes the subject. Major Fedya could have been a bit more thoughtful too. Sure, he's injured, but he slipped back to Odessa at the moment he handed over command, and didn't even bother to come back and help Kalin. Also, Kalin, why did you even stay in ODE-07? You could have handed that task to the local operations commander. If you told us in advance, we could have coordinated with them about positioning. If things have gone as smoothly as you imagine, it would have been easy. Huh? Remember why the Oblast government sealed off the bridge earlier? There are structural weak points on the Odessa Bay Bridge. Shelling could cause the bridge to collapse. To strike Groza on the bridge, we had to calculate angles and control the attack range. Even then, there's still a real chance we damage the bridge's load-bearing structure and cause a full collapse. The bridge was built during the Oblast major development era. It costs a fortune and carries commemorative meaning. If it collapses, reconstructing it will be hugely expensive for the Oblast government, but now rebuilding it would hinder the Oblast government development, and with all the recent unrest, the government would probably be hesitant. You mean, you were worried the Oblast government would refuse to attack? But they weren't scared that... let's just call her Groza for now. Weren't they scared that Groza would lead the illegal automaton straight across? More precisely, I was worried that the government would refuse to set the attack point on the bridge. The artillery on the fixed quarantine wall can cover the entire route from Odessa to the ramp leading to the bridge. The government could simply wait until that Dahl and the illegal forces cross over, then bomb them. But our defensive line could never hold until the evac convoy cleared the bridge and reached the shelter. Even if we gave everything, all we could do was ensure that the convoy had retreated into a relatively safe area to minimize the possibility of them getting caught in the blast. The fixed cannons must strike the enemy while they were on the bridge, and the firing time must be controlled by me. And so our heroic counselor, Kalina, used herself as the leverage to force the Odessa government to cooperate, staking herself at the ODE-07 end of the bridge. Kalina hears the barb in Leva's tone and pats her hand with a bitter smile. It was on me this time. I shouldn't have acted on my own. Really? I think Major Fedya understood perfectly. The Odessa Oblast was on fire everywhere, and ODE-07 had it even worse. Every battle zone was overwhelmed, and the two of you, one a senior counselor from the Non-Military Forces Administration, holding a defensive line amidst the chaos, the other a major of the Special Security Administration, fleeing in a hurry through shellfire with his troops. If the Oblast government had refused our demand, we would have died on that bridge, and the government would have no way to answer to NOMFA. Both the central government and the public would demand accountability. Actually, the culprits behind this insurgency, Ulrich and the Jawar group, are themselves a native faction not yet appointed by the URNC. The Jawar group was even applying for administrative rights over Odessa and surrounding areas. Given that, the Odessa government would already have trouble explaining things to the central government. If NOMFA also turned against them at this moment, their situation would be disastrous in the long term. would be disastrous. In the long term, the Oblast development would also be impacted. So you do understand the logic. Then don't stay mad. I understand, but Kellen, don't forget, the only reason that the evacuees were safe, that the bridges stay intact, and that we are able to sit here and talk, it's all because we were lucky enough. If the Oblast government hadn't cooperated, if we hadn't arrived in time, if our line hadn't held long enough for the convoy to escape the blast radius, if I hadn't pulled you off that bridge in time, if you drowned in a tide, when all these ifs were finally likely, it was an emergency. I had to take the gamble. Besides, you know me, I'd never stand aside. Yes, Kellen and Robella are the brave good people, and the only cold-blooded villain is me, right? I abandoned my own sister to be arrested at the light rail station, refused Robella's request to accelerate our operation at the power plant, knew you were risking your life on the bridge, yet didn't prioritize sending you somewhere safer. Leva, don't say that. Kellen isn't blaming you and Robella. Robella will definitely come to understand Sue. Will she now? I think the two will simply never agree. I'm just a cold, rational doll, and she is a person who feels warmth and sorrow. No need to be stubborn at a time like this, Leva. No one is truly affected by the pain and suffering on the battlefield. Sometimes we just have to force ourselves to forget. The fallen deserve to be mourned, but those who knew everything and made conscious choices also carried the consequences and go through every day and night afterward. Collective success doesn't mean individual peace. I understand that very well. No wonder Robella says we've both changed. Little Kellen would never see things like this. Circumstances leave me no choice. Now I must stand on my own 2 feet. I can't be the one who leans on others anymore. And I don't think you've really changed. Before, your first priority was 404. Now, you simply place more people on the priority side of your scale. Circumstances leave me no choice. Leva shrugs as he quotes Kalina's own words. Making rational choices according to the facts. I don't dislike that, but one cold and emotionless machine on the team is enough. Besides, I have no consequences to bear. Lena finally has enough of Leva's self-mockery. That's not true, Leva. At the Gerard server room, you gave up the single most important thing for everyone, but you forgot. I forgot. Even though I didn't want to admit it, and at the first, I was even a bit happy, thinking I'd finally become the most important person to you. But you are not what you're pretending to be. Lena, you agreed not to bring this up yet. But Robella already misunderstood Leva. I don't want even more people to misunderstood her. If I have to admit the most important person to Leva isn't me, but UMP40, I still... Lena. Oh dear, could you two stop arguing and bring the person in question up to speed first? Speaking in riddles is a bad habit. Whoa. Eva still appears nonchalant, but her eyes grow serious. Lena, who is this UMP40 that you just mentioned? Okay. So it looks like because I'm guessing she's UMP40. And you know the way that Lena was like talking about her, like, yeah, this is probably UMP40. I'm assuming. The defiant look on Lena's face instantly shifts to nervousness at Leva's question. She's... That's enough. Leva, I was going to discuss this only after Persica gives your neurocloud a full overhaul. Your current state isn't stable enough. I don't want you burdened by more confusion. I'm sorry for keeping this from you. Alright. Leva gives a non-committal response. She wraps the hair tie around Kalina's hair in another loop. Your hair is done. See? I still prefer the way you used to look. In the mirror, Kalina's high side ponytail is tied with a lively red bow. Thanks. Through the mirror, Leva studies Kalina again, taking in a fluster and guilt on her face, until those emotions settle, and Kalina's gaze clears and becomes more sincere again. Leva leans down slightly, her eyes still fixed on Kalina's in the reflection. Kellen, we're still friends. I know your concern for me is genuine. I made a choice. I can bear the consequences. I'll make whoever caused me to lose my memory pay. But I want to know. Next time, don't do this again. Right. Same goes for you too, Lena. Promise me, okay? Sure. Leva's terrifying when she's mad, 1,000 times scarier than Klukai. Then let's leave it at that for now. Kellen, go change before you catch a chill. Lena, let's wait outside. Leva smiles again, pats Kalina lightly on the shoulder, and leaves their bedroom with Lena. After changing into fresh clothes, Kalina comes out and finds Lena and Leva waiting for her. Leva is back to her usual self on the sofa, waving her cheerfully. She waits as Kalina makes her way over and sits down beside her. Well then, let's talk about that old friend that I somehow haven't forgotten. I really didn't expect to meet her in the battlefield. You mean a doll commanding the illegal automatons? She can't be Groza. When we contacted Commander earlier, we confirmed that Groza was aboard the Elmo. Yeah, if the one who attacked us were really Groza, then the Commander would be untrustworthy. That's impossible. The Commander would never take the opposing side, and he would never harm Kallen. The target probably wasn't me. It was more likely the evacuation convoy or even Odessa on the other end of the bridge. What I don't understand is, most of the illegal forces she controlled were blocked by frontline units, and I became her last obstacle. With her specs, she could have easily eliminated me before you arrived. But not only did she not attack, she even wanted me to leave on my own. Yeah, on top of sparing you, she also kindly avoided all of Sopo's vital points. When we retrieved Sopo, her frame was in awful condition, but the damage was mostly in the limbs, like the attacker only wanted to disable her temporarily. She could have dealt with you two much more permanently. I doubt the hysterical legislator Rurik had told her to spare you out of courtesy to MFA. So I guess, do they know about Rurik right now? Yeah, I don't think he would be the one to command right now. But even if she seems to be slightly on our side, I still think she can't be Groza. Of course, I don't doubt that the Groza we know, or the commander. I'm only puzzled by her behavior, and I don't think she's a complete stranger. Before you arrived, I mentioned the commander to her on purpose. She reacted. That could be a lead. Okay, is that why she, like, slowed down the way she said it? Like, commander? Let's talk to the commander about it later. Alright. Well, we know that they didn't bring it up, right? In the intertwined assault. Leva, turn on the TV. Are they broadcasting updates about the aftermath of the Gerard insurgency? Let's see what measures the Oblast government is taking. Helen, aren't you going to rest? I'm okay. The director will arrive in a few hours. I'll rest after the handover. Besides, right now, with the amount of information on Odessa news, I can't afford to get my beauty sleep. Okay. Leva turns on the TV. According to the latest reports, all non-combat personnel of ODE-07 have been safely evacuated. They are now dispersed and temporarily placed in several intake sites set up in the outskirts of Odessa and other satellite cities. The Odessa Oblast government delegates, led by Zimmerman, are currently heading to the intake sites located in the suburbs of Odessa to offer their condolences to the displaced. The outskirts of Odessa? Seriously? So in the end they didn't allow them into Odessa itself? They're already making an exception by exposing the outskirts of a white zone city to collapse radiation contamination. Not only do they have to bear the risk of secondary spread, the radiation cleanup afterwards will also consume a huge amount of funds. Previously, the chaos caused by illegal automatons has already been effectively contained under the joint efforts of the local security forces, the Purification Zone Railway Corps, the Non-Military Forces Administration, and individual PMCs. Order is gradually being restored across all cities in the Odessa Oblast. According to investigations, this insurgency is an egregious terrorist attack jointly orchestrated by the Gerard Group leadership and Odessa Oblast Parliament under Oblast Parliament member Rurik Gerard. As of now, several suspects have been captured. The ringleader, Rurik Gerard, is still at large. The Public Security Administration calls on residents of the Oblast government to provide effective information so he can be arrested as soon as possible. Well, that's going to be a while. I'm not sure where they dropped him off, but If it's in the forest, maybe they can find him. They're pretty efficient this time. Isn't that a good thing? I can't wait to see that old villain get what he deserves. Even though we'd already submitted part of the evidence against Rurik and the Gerard group, and those materials had already reached the Oblast court, most likely they also uncovered something else during the process. But announcing it hastily through the media this fast is unusual. What are they in such a hurry for? Keep watching. Maybe we'll find out soon enough. Since Odessa Oblast MP Rurik Gerard is suspected of major crimes, the central government has confirmed that his eligibility to run in the Odessa interim leadership election is hereby revoked. Here we go. Is this where we get Zimmerman looking all like evil now? The voting time will be announced shortly. Please stay tuned for further information. The list of candidates is as follows. I see. The Odessa Oblast government is probably rushing to reshuffle the deck. With such a big scandal exposed, they must show their position to the central government as soon as possible. I just wonder if our hardworking legislator Zimmerman stands a chance at all. I'm starting to see some online support for him. If he seizes the timing and successfully appeals to the residents' desire for peace and stability, then as the only conservative-leaning candidate, it's not impossible for him to win. Let's look forward to it. Alright, I've already sent the mission request to Klukaizen, but the specific search area still needs confirmation. Kukai accepted it. Of course, though she did force me to review the commission submission procedure again. Kukai is getting more and more long-winded. You always look like you're thoroughly enjoying yourself whenever Kukai is frustrated. Callan, once our work in Odessa is done, you better give us 2 days of leave, okay? Otherwise, Fort of 4 is going to fall apart. Sure, whatever you say. Then thanks. A month later, once again leaning against a full height window, Diva watches the aerial cameras fly across the sky. I'm getting some deja vu. It looks as if nothing happened at all in Odessa, even though it's only been a month. The newly appointed interim chief will be giving his first speech today. It is a grand occasion. Back then, the residents of Odessa also rallied around Rurik like this. Now, Mr. Rurik lies inexplicably in his grave. I guess they found him now, and his followers are cheering for another leader the same way. Can humans also erase their own neural records? Did Rurik really die in a plane crash? Parts of his remains and the wreckage of his private jet have already been found near Odessa coast. The DNA match is unmistakable. After the PSA's investigation, the cause of the incident is tentatively identified as the engine failure. So yes, he really did die in a plane crash. We doubt the cause of the crash? Yeah, but for most people, Rurik Gerard, this brute who murdered the former chief and triggered a full-scale upheaval, got what he deserved and died in a pitiful death. The patriotic Gerard group that manufactured and harbored a large number of illegal arm units also has its assets fully frozen by the government and is awaiting disposition. That's good enough for people. I originally thought we'd have to spend a lot of effort proving Gerard's connections to Sextons, yet within days, the Gerard group itself obediently handed over all the evidence. Illegal operations, possession of heavily lethal private arm units, obstruction of justice, bribery, murder, assault, intimidation. The crimes of the Gerard group and Rurik are countless. It's understandable that they are desperate to confess, sever ties, and fight for leniency. The evidence they submitted dragged out quite a few government officials who had colluded with Rurik over the years. No wonder the Gerard group could run rampant all across the Odessa Oblast. I originally thought Fedya was already pretty high-ranking, but once that list came out, a major from the SSA was basically nothing. You read a transcript of Fedya's confession, didn't you, Callan? Yeah. According to the evidence he provided in the PSA's investigation, his entanglement with Rurik and the Gerard group wasn't too deep. Rurik kept many crimes hidden from him, which ironically protected him. But he still has to pay the price for his fraud and malpractice. I heard the Odessa Oblast Supreme Court is considering reducing his sentence. That's good. I know MFA must have spoken up for him, right? We only provided corroboration for his actions and performance during the battle at Odessa Bay Bridge. I know MFA doesn't mistreat those who help us. That's true. We really didn't mistreat them. Neva eyes the TV with a meaningful expression. The inauguration speech of the interim chief has begun. Zimmerman, who once always stood in a corner, now what? Now what? Now stands calmly behind the podium, accepting a flood of camera flashes. You should know that an OMFA has no say whether Zimmerman wins the position of interim chief, but his close ties with us are known across all of Odessa. Ever since the director arrived, any major or minor event with even the slightest connection, Zimmerman, or rather, interim chief Zimmerman, would invite the director as well. That effective, huh? He used to come dead last in the polls, but in the final poll before the vote, his approval rate skyrocketed pretty much overnight, leaving the other candidates in the dust. We didn't see the speech he gave just before the vote. It was impassioned, watertight. He even led residents in mourning and praising the former chief, publicly sharing the former chief's foresight and devotion to Odessa's future and its people. In the media, as if they agreed in advance, heavily promoted Zimmerman's contributions during the Jawar insurgency, especially how he risked his own business and political career to persuade the Oblast government to accept evacuees. The TV station even made a documentary about how the former chief valued him and how he inherited the former chief's philosophy of keeping the future of Odessa and its residents at heart. Why does it feel like this was all prepared long in advance? Yes, he helped us enormously back then, but it wasn't all his doing. He was the one who initiated it, and the public doesn't care about such details. After voting began, most people who suffered during the insurgency cast their vote for Zimmerman. Then a chain of scandals took down a large portion of the government officials, and many candidates withdrew. Business people, desperate to find a new patron and politicians wanting to use Zimmerman's connections with MFA to restore relations with the central government, all voted for him. The one candidate whose stance was unimpeachably correct. Silently, without losing anything himself, he used the shifting situation to turn around the board around. This Mr. Zimmerman, either he is incredibly lucky or his methods surpass even Rurik's. An imminent election is basically a timed chess match. It's not wrong for him to use every resource to win. On the screen, Zimmerman already begun his speech. Facing the journalists, government officials, and the residents of Odessa farther away, he is composed and speaks eloquently. Gentile, poised, conservative, steady, he is the antithesis of Rurik. The chaos created by the Gerard group has reminded the people of Odessa of the horrors of war. Someone like Zimmerman, who can soothe fear like a tranquilizer, really is a leader that Odessa needs. Let's hope Odessa finds peace from here on. Looking at the investigation report that Klukai's team sent earlier, the fall of the Gerard group may not mean much at all. Among its security, and behind it, the Szech FABN group, combined with the sightings provided by the commander and the information we collected, we can basically confirm that Paratus has returned, and that they're colluding with the giant corporations in both the white and green zones. It's just that right now, their sphere of influence is still unclear, so we can't make any of this public. How can it be? 10 years later, not only has Paratus not died out, they've even gained troublesome new allies. That Blue Spear, who almost wiped out Klukai's entire squad earlier, plus Sextants and Darcher. Sheesh, how many 3rd-gen dolls do they have? Whoever injured Leva on level 2 earlier was most likely one as well, but she also seemed to be targeting the Gerard group. I can't make sense of any of it. Unable to connect all the dots, Nina gives up and continues watching Zimmerman's speech listlessly. Kellen, is there any new lead about the lab that housed the prototype 3rd-gen doll? Not for now, but since the situation in Odessa has stabilized, the SSA and NOMFA have already begun an investigation. I hope they'll be quick about it. Across the entire URNC, who knows how many companies like Gerard are trying to take root in the white and green zones. If they truly develop, we're in big trouble. Wait, Eva, Helen, look! Nina points frantically at the TV screen. The camera happens to sweep past a middle-aged man in a suit. A nameplate with Szech FABN's logo is clearly placed on the desk before him. After a recent elite outbreak, the Odessa Oblast government has come to deeply reflect on our oversight and regulation. Therefore, the Oblast will further integrate medical resources, strengthen inspections and regulatory procedures, and select 2 to 3 manufacturers as production partners. We will never again allow low-quality vaccines of unknown origin to circulate. nor will we allow unlawful groups like the Gerard Group to exploit loopholes. The Oblast government has already preliminarily selected a number of potential partners. The representatives of these companies are also attending today's event and are seated in the audience. Afterward, the government will conduct more comprehensive audits on the companies themselves and the production lines. They just appear like that? A coincidence? Or perhaps that's been Zimmerman's game all along? Did we get played by him? The three people in the room sit silently watching the television. Though the skies of Odessa had cleared, a new shadow seems to have settled over the city. Oh? In 2074, late at night. Sir, the periodic meeting is about to begin. It is very delighted with the gift you sent. It's time. Connect to the comms channel. Yes, sir. Cocoon enters the key and connects to the channel. The screen remains pitch black. Only tiny fluctuations in the volume bar show the presence of several participants. Then, the periodic meeting of Orlog conglomerates officially begins. To the representative of the Church FABN, welcome. A few scattered claps echo through the speakers. Thank you, it's my honor. By helping us eliminate Gerard, you've shown plenty of loyalty and goodwill. As long as you don't overstep like Rurik did, we'll be partners forever. Sharing technology, wealth, power, we will share this world equally. I look forward to that day. The Lullaby project has reached a new milestone. Before we move to other topics, let us celebrate to this moment and to every moment yet to come. Then how about letting our newest member, our most generous friend, offer the toast? Representative of such FABN, Winfried, or perhaps we should respectfully address you as Mr. Zimmerman, Chief of Odessa. Oh wow. There he is. No need for formalities. I believe we stand as equals. Zimmerman picks up the wine glass beside him. The gleaming liquid reflects the calm nightscape of Odessa behind him. At this very moment, he is immaculately dressed from head to toe, refined yet lofty, like a player of the board who surveys the world from above. For most people, withering in a dream is better than dying horribly under artillery fire. After a brief awakening comes eternal sweet slumber. Let the lullaby hum a little longer. To the age of peace. To the age of peace. Their participants are located all over. Some are shrouded in night, some touched by early dawn. Across the black screen and the invisible radio waves, several wine glasses are raised and gently clink on the edge of the world stream. There we go, man. So yeah, there you have it. That is it for this story for part 2 of Deep Oblivion. So yeah, you know, I don't know all about the factions in this game or the lore of this game. I'm guessing Sech FABN, if I'm saying that right, is, I guess, evil, because it seems like Zimmerman was Winfried of that faction. Which, yeah, I'm guessing that's bad. And also, since they spotted the FABN like logo on the TV with Zimmerman, I'm guessing they're bad. But yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty much it for now for a long while. But yeah, I'm either going to, you know, stop the Let's Play entirely, or maybe one day if I really feel like it, maybe I'll come back to this game and do the past events instead. Which, yeah, we can look right now with like what we have. So right now, it looks like everything here is all complete. I guess these are like some extra stuff that I haven't done yet. But yeah, when it comes to the story mode, I think we'll go and, you know, just follow like this part, like from here on out. So if the Dushanaya event gets included here, or if like the next story here with the Lewis story gets included, or I guess like whatever that I haven't like experienced yet in general, I'll be playing through that. But yeah, I mean, overall the game I still like. I have fun with it. I think you know, with the game being all like ex-combo with waifus, it's still pretty fun, like especially when I first played it. I like the mechanics and stuff. I think, you know, once you're like overpowered in a way when it comes to the main story for the event stories, like, yeah, it does get to be like just auto battle. Like I said, of course, I can play through the heroic mode, but even with that, like I tried it during the Florence event, it was just way too hard for me, even in manual mode, for me to command. But yeah, I just rather have it be like the challenge mode where, you know, they're just at level 60 here. I feel like that's usually good enough for me. because sometimes I play in manual and I have fun still. But yeah, I think for now though, I'll end it here. I'll come back to whenever the past event does catch up. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. You know, playing this whole like throughout, I think at the end of 2024 and then throughout 2025. And now we're gonna stop it here for now. Yeah, we'll see if I come back or not. You know, I still do want to cover this game in a way where I do watch their Balin Island emergency shelter broadcast. I still watch that, and I think the day before the next update, like I guess if I look over here, maybe this will give us a guide. Like maybe around in 4 to 5 days is when I'll upload my reaction to it. But yeah, I still want to, you know, cover the game in that sense. You know, I want to see all the new characters. It's just I won't be playing through the story anymore, just because, you know, I feel like I'm just pretty much doing the same thing over and over, where I just read the story and not much gameplay. I think it'll be best if I like slow things down and just, you know, do it that way. But yeah, can't wait to maybe come back and show off like my new dolls that I get if they release some new ones that I really like. I think that one doll that we met in, I think part 1 of the Deep Oblivion events here. I think it was the what was it, like the AK people? Like I guess we only saw one of them. She looks pretty cool, but I'm not sure like what her whole gimmick is about with her, like I guess combat and stuff. But she does look pretty cool. If I like her, if there's like any other people that is like related to her, then I would maybe get them. But yeah, we'll see, man. Anyway, guys, that'll be it for now. And we'll see when I get back with the past events if I really feel like it. So yeah, that is it for now, guys. That's game.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good